You should be warned, the upcoming episode will be full of unfiltered, off-the-cuff discussion. As such, you should consider this your spoiler warning.
Hello, I'm Kyle.
And I'm Ryan.
And when our powers combine, we form
Experience Grind Podcast.
The podcast where, better or worse, good or bad, giant fights and throwdowns or not, we're going to give you our honest opinions on whatever we experience. And this week, we have a doozy, folks. We have experienced something that has divided the Experience Grinders pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
And we're going
You
to
could
talk
say
about
there's
it.
almost a civil war. Oh, wait, that's a different one.
Oh, that's a much better
Yeah.
IP.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in order to help us facilitate this, we've brought in a good friend of the show, a good friend of mine, Mr. Nathan Ferris.
Hello, everybody.
You might remember Nathan from our Star Wars Episode 7 discussion.
That legendary episode.
Yeah, man, that
Everybody's
was-
still talking about it.
You jest, but I think that's one of our most viewed or listened to
It's
episodes
gotta
You
be
also-
so
because
far.
of me.
It's only you. It's not the fact that it's Star Wars.
I think you
Yeah.
still have not got paid for that episode, and we'll
I've-
talk to
that
the
check,
secretary.
I've been
So,
waiting on it. I've called you guys'
It's in the
office.
mail. I know that. So,
I've heard that.
but no. So it's kind of a thing. Big movie release. We're gonna have Nathan on. We're gonna talk about these big movies now.
Oh, okay.
I like
Down
it
for that.
I think it works. We're gonna do it again sometime in the very near future. Wink, wink. Not recording 2 episodes today. So.
It was too subtle. I didn't.
I don't get it either. So what are we talking about, Ryan? What movie has brought us together?
We are talking about Zack Snyder's masterpiece, Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Justice.
Yeah, and you got to have those. But it's not Batman versus.
Or is it
Superman.
Batman v
It's
Superman?
Batman
Just
v
V.
Superman, which is
Like a court case.
Exactly. It's supposed to be
Fucking
indicative.
even worse.
Yeah.
It was about as exciting as watching
At points, yeah.
Yeah.
courtroom
Yeah.
footage.
Batman v Superman was like watching a custody battle between 2 parents getting a divorce.
So, yeah,
There
I
you
mean, that's the entire show. That's
the show.
what it is.
Done.
Thanks for having me,
There you
guys.
Thanks.
That's
You've been great,
not true.
Nathan.
I
You're
gotta
That's-
get out of here. Actually.
So, we have this thing. We gotta run through this. We have the intro motto. What's the episode about? So now we're on the intro question or topic.
Yeah.
And I had some ideas, and it's
You had some
mostly
questions.
it's focused on a DC character, but one that was not featured in this movie. But it's something that I recently read, Kingdom Come Again, which is a pretty good DC comic, I think.
Fantastic art.
Yeah, it's really great art. I think everything is painted in that.
It's Alex Ross.
But it brought me to a question. So the Green Lantern is also a human like Batman.
Yeah.
So like he ages as well, just as a normal human. Like being a Green Lantern doesn't give him any sort of longevity.
I wouldn't
I don't think so.
I wouldn't think so. I mean,
That might be a part of the ring. I have no idea, to be
Yeah,
honest with you.
it's-
So
it's
I've
a-
never really heard that, though.
it's a magic ring. So, I mean, anything could be written, whatever. It's kind of stupid comic logic that exists, but I would like with comics, you got to kind of consider that
Yeah.
most of them take place
Well,
usually.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's you're fine. But it's like 20 years you could be reading a book and Peter Parker's still in high school.
Exactly.
because
Yeah.
Character's own age. This is not important.
But I mean, what I'm saying is that he would age. Like he would become old and have to give up the mantle
At some
eventually.
point.
Well, he would. I think that's the Green Lantern Corps just in general is they
Yeah, like the
live
one
their
guy
purpose to
died
serve and they die
And
and
the
pass
ring
the ring.
finds someone else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, though, it's been a long time since I read Kingdom Come, but I don't think that's Hal Jordan in that. It's like the Golden Age one. What is his name?
Oh,
Not Jay Garrick. That's a Flash.
it's not Kyle Rayner. It's not
I don't remember his name offhand, but yeah.
so it's not Hal
supposedly-
Jordan.
Gargan. Matt
No.
Gargan. Is it Matt Gargan?
No.
Then I have no idea anymore.
Oh, shit. I can't.
Those are the Green
we'll have to
Lanterns
look
I
that
know.
up, but
Who was the Black Green Lantern?
that's John Stewart.
I like him a
Thank
lot.
you. I was
Not
thinking
the
in my
Daily
head.
Show.
I-
Not the Daily Show host,
Yeah.
no. Although it should be. He should play him in a movie in blackface. That should be the way
It's
that
definitely
movie
the
goes.
most sensitive way.
Yeah,
to
that's the
portray
way I
that.
would do it if I was casting it.
No,
But-
the one in the it's actually kind of an interesting story. Well, I guess relatively, but
Go for it.
the one in the Kingdom Come, Alex Ross like refused to draw Kyle Rayner because he's like this real hardcore like Silver Age superhero fan, right? So
You can get that in the comic too.
yeah, it's pretty obvious, but like he didn't like how they had handled the Green Lantern's, I guess you would say, breakdown a few years prior to when Kingdom Come came out, because I don't know if you're really aware of any of this, but like he basically goes nuts and like kills every other Green Lantern and ends up becoming like this ultimate evil villain in the universe for like probably the better part of a decade or so, I would say.
And this is before Hal Jordan.
This is in the time that
This is Hal Jordan.
Green Arrow.
Oh,
died.
okay.
It's around time Superman died because
Oh yeah. Many characters are dying around
in the
that.
Death of Superman storyline, I remember from when I was a kid, Green Lantern's city that he lit, his hometown, I believe it's called Coast City. If I
It is.
remember correctly.
Yeah. Good
Yeah, I
pull.
sound like such a fucking dork right now.
No, go for it.
That's what you're gonna do on this
Dude,
show.
I
man.
talked
No, I'm
about
fine.
Civil War, the comic, for like 30 minutes on one of these episodes. So
Well, Coast City ends up getting like annihilated by someone, I don't remember who, and someone involved with the Death of Superman story. Hal Jordan basically loses his shit and goes psycho, and I don't remember what brings him to the decision to kill all the other Green Lanterns. It's been a long time, but he does that, and he has all their rings, and I don't really remember how it worked itself out, but basically Kyle Rayner came in as the new one, and he was the Green Lantern for, like I said, the better part of a decade, I would say.
he was a total obnoxious bro. He was like my least favorite Green
Like a
Lantern. Kyle
cartoonist
Rayner.
or something, isn't he?
Was he? Oh,
Yeah,
he might have been.
I didn't really ever read the Green Lantern that much up until Hal Jordan came back when Jeff Johns was writing it. That's the only
Yeah.
time I've ever really gotten into that book. But
What did he do? Darkest Night and all that run too.
yeah,
Okay.
he introduced all the different
Colors.
ones. Yeah, which,
So I guess my other question relating to Green Lanterns is that like Batman, they are just normal people. I mean, even when they are aliens, they're
Yeah.
not.
I don't think the ring itself grants them like they don't become
yeah.
So,
immortal. Or
It
anything.
finds greatness in people, or like whatever
willpower.
Yeah.
So that's
whatever
my
Yeah.
thing.
vague
So like
term.
they still get in like these giant bang out crash like fights. So like
Yeah.
the Green Lantern, has he ever had like a bone broken, things like that? Like
Oh yeah,
I think
I'm
the
sure.
ring.
But
That's how he can like go into space and shit. Like
because it gives him like a
gives,
force
this
field,
aura
right?
around him
Okay.
That somehow
yeah,
I don't know how it works.
But he can still get his
yeah.
ass whooped within that aura, right? Because I mean,
He could
I've
get
seen
his
him.
ass beat in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if Superman just walked up to him and fucking jacked him or something, you know, like he would probably die, or at least be in pretty bad shape, I would think. But I don't know. I don't really know, to be honest with you. I'm not
No.
super knowledgeable about the character.
if he wasn't able to do anything with the ring and Superman punched him, like it would.
Oh, for sure. If it was
Destroy
just,
him.
Like,
Yeah,
with no,
like, they are-
protection at all.
Yeah, they're breakable, but like he has the ring, so he can construct it like anything he needs to defend. So like it usually never gets to that point.
Okay, yeah, and that,
no,
that
he's-
makes
he's a
sense now too,
human.
because he
He is
always
a
is
human.
enveloped in like the green flame or whatever
Yeah.
when he's flying around. And I guess it does give him the power of flight too, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So like, does Wonder Woman have flight?
Yeah.
I believe so.
But with or without the jet, like there's an invisible jet, like
I don't know what the deal is with that jet.
Yeah.
to be honest with you. Like, I don't know if that was for the TV show they had back in the day, because it sounds like something like a film production or a
Yeah.
TV production would have to be like, well, we need her to fly. We don't have the budget for a, you know, she can't be in a real jet. Of course, it's going to cost shitload
Ton of money.
It's a TV show, so it's like. Was invisible jet,
Yeah.
or maybe some lazy comic book artist, you know, is like, I don't want to draw a fucking jet
every time.
It's,
Yeah.
Never
it's,
sitting
it's
there
also
floating
the
through the air.
reason you have Superman in a spacesuit. Like motherfucker, he's an alien that can
Yeah.
breathe in space. Why does he need a spacesuit? But like that.
well,
was the
that's
thing
that's
that
when you get into
exists.
like those crappy WB
Yeah.
comic or WB cartoons that I always hated. When
Which we'll
and
talk
wh-
more about that
and
later.
it was all more.
You don't like those?
No, especially like the ones that ran like
fucking wrong.
compared to the Batman cartoon. The Superman cartoon was garbage, and like
okay.
they've got like a Superman motorcycle. Why does Superman need a motorcycle?
I don't remember.
All right,
that.
one because it's aimed at kids. And they're
Exactly,
talking
it's-
about
it's
action
merchandising.
figures,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But-
yeah, that's just stupid.
But
toys,
for
I mean.
somebody who is a Superman fan, like,
Yeah.
those are the most true to the comics. Like that Superman WB show and the Batman WB show are like some of the most accurate comic representations you will
I
find.
think my biggest problem with those two is that I like the way Batman is drawn. I hate the way Superman looks in that cartoon.
They are the same art style.
I know, and it's weird, but like, I don't know. There's like Superman just looks ridiculous to me. I don't get it.
The thing
But
about the Batman show is like
Eh.
it's all the writing. It's,
it goes
that's Paul
beyond
Dini, man.
Yeah.
it goes beyond being an accurate representation to like becoming a defining one. Like that's what a lot of people know them as. You know
Exactly.
What I mean? Like,
yeah,
that
I would give
show-
you that.
So I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if Superman had quite the impact as that one did, but I think
Well, I know a
it's
lot of
just-
kids grew up watching those Batmans after
Yeah, I
school
mean-
too. I know I did. So.
Yeah, so I think the Superman one is just as good at portraying that character in how should I say it? Like the way you would expect him to be based on any comic book, and the exact opposite of say Zack Snyder doing it. You know what
Well, I
mean?
think
Like,
another thing I remember in the Superman cartoon, all the police and stuff had laser guns, which was I always thought was kind of dumb. I hate
that's
that.
just because of the censorship.
Yeah.
But the Batman cartoon they had guns because it was set like
Are you
in
sure
the
you're not
30s
thinking
and the
of the,
50s.
the
The Spider-Man
Spider-Man
cartoon
one? 'Cause
also
they
had the
would-
laser guns, yes, but
Those shows are always so funny to me because like
Yeah.
the cops would show up and immediately be like useless.
yeah.
like they have
well,
no,
and Spider-Man never throws a punch in that cartoon, not
Yeah.
once. Never throws a punch or a kick.
I'm selling this laser gun thing. Are you sure they were laser guns and it just wasn't animation that made like a bright yellow laser for the bullet, but like they get hit and then it's like zzz, I'm shocked. No, it's people didn't get hit because it's too violent.
That could
So
be
I
true.
think they're
I did
just
again.
guns.
I
but
didn't
they're
watch a lot of the
animated in a
Superman
different
cartoon.
way.
As a big fan, I did not like that cartoon. The only episode I've watched many times is the one where him and Flash have the race around the world.
It's not even the best one.
I think that's the best one.
Well, okay.
I love that episode.
You're wrong. It's for the man who has everything is the best one where he
Well,
gets.
that was Justice League Unlimited or whatever.
Oh
wasn't
no
it?
shit! You're right.
Yeah.
It is.
I mean, it's same. You
Same
know,
man,
It's the same animation and style
art
and
style,
everything.
but
Yeah.
yeah.
not
You're
that
right,
different.
you're
But
right.
yeah, I think because that one also has Batman and Wonder Woman showing
Mm-hmm.
up in it, which
Didn't happen in the
So
Superman
I've got,
one. You're right. Yeah.
I've got one more
Nathan,
question.
I like that you're here.
Yeah, I do too. I got and this is helping me out a lot.
Jeez. Don't show this on.
Oh no, it's
don't ever show this.
it's
to
on
me.
YouTube. Nathan is a giant nerd with the rest of us, and this is helping me out. So okay, what is Martian Manhunter's thing? Like, what
That's
is
a
his
character I know
He's-
almost nothing about.
I can speak.
Okay,
to
yeah.
Martian Manhunter.
I'm gonna let you.
So
take
what?
this
Like,
one
is he
because-
super buff? Is he?
He
fast?
is everything. Like he is the most powerful.
everything to
Seriously,
me.
like
Is
the
he more
most
powerful than Superman?
Yes, he is
Really?
the most powerful person in the DC universe. The issue is his weakness is fire. So he has like a very, very damaging weakness. Whereas Superman's like kryptonite. Well, who has kryptonite? Like 1% of the population, if that. Like anybody can make
one
fire.
person, pretty
but
much. Yeah, I mean,
yeah. I mean, he has Superman's strength. He has like the speed of the Flash. He has like
And he can communicate telepathically.
he can communicate telepathically. He's a shapeshifter. Like he can do fucking anything. He
he's
is
like
the
a really
most powerful.
telepath, isn't he? Like in the
Yeah.
comics and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll say like I
so
don't
he
know,
could go toe to toe with Superman, like in a fist fight. Though.
as long as Superman didn't have a book of matches.
Really?
But like that's
I did not know this.
Have you guys read or seen the Justice League, the New Frontier cartoon / comic?
I
I've
have
seen
not.
the movie. I've never actually read the comic.
Well, they're both great. If you've seen the movie, it has like one of my favorite Batman lines is like he's going through like ways to dispatch people. It's like, well, for Superman, I have a rock from a meteor of his home planet. Like, and for you, John Jones, Martian Manhunter, all I have to do is bring out a book of matches. And it's just like, boom, mic drop. Like, I'm Batman. Like, that's it. Like, that's it. And
So with that, let's go ahead and we'll start transitioning into this actual episode then. Do you want to give our sponsorship? I mean, as always.
oh yeah, so we are sponsored by Andre. This week we have a peach moscato, which
It's actually pretty tasty. I'm not a fan of peach at all.
it's new for us. We've never had this.
I've never had
before.
this flavor.
What do you think, Nathan?
Yeah, it's pretty good. This is Andre the Giant's signature
yeah.
brand, right?
Before he died, he
His
set this
winery.
up through his
You opened
lawyer.
the
Winery,
not
yeah.
winery, whatever the fuck we're drinking.
It would
I
be
think it's a
wine.
winery.
Yeah,
Is this wine?
yeah.
I
Champagne's a
think you
wine.
Is it?
make champagne
Right.
from a winery, right?
Sound engineer Andrew.
There
has
are-
an opinion.
there are-
No, he doesn't have an opinion at all.
There are grapes in champagne.
It's a
Okay.
bubbly wine. That's what I understand.
Either
it to
way,
be.
it was Andre the Giant.
It was
Yes,
Andre the Giant.
yes,
Absolutely.
that's a fact.
And Andre Dawson, the old Cubs player. He
I don't
was-
know that reference. I don't get
No
that
one watching this will get that
No,
reference, or
no.
listening, or whatever.
So yeah, as always, thank you, Andre. We're going to try to keep this episode epic with Andre. I mean,
Yeah. Hashtag
try
epic
as
with
they
Andre.
might, this has attempted to be the most epic movie of the year so far. So
That was a good segue.
Yeah.
I was trying to think in my head how to segue it in. That was
we've
well
kept
done.
it epic with Andre. Do we have a bump for this one? If you don't, I've got an
I
idea.
do.
Okay,
It's,
what's yours?
It's actually, and I sent it to you guys today, but it's the Wonder Woman theme music.
Really?
Because
Okay.
it's, I don't know. I think that's a talking point, but it's this very.
We'll get into her, I'm sure.
It's weird. This soundtrack, we'll talk more about when we get in, but it's done by Hans Zimmer and Junkie XL. Hans Zimmer, who did. I know,
Such a
fucking
fucking-
I
right?
saw that on the
What a
credits. I was like,
contradiction.
What?
But,
Hans Zimmer was like, "You want me to work? Oh,
He
Hans
just said-
Zimmer.
I just read the other.
where's my check?"
I just read today. I think it was he
quit.
he decided not to ever do another superhero movie.
Good
which
for him.
Really?
that probably
Damn.
extends to.
I did
like,
not see
unless,
that.
Unless they hand me a large bag of money to do it, and then I'll probably do it.
That's
But
fine.
He did all the Batmans, did he not? All the Christopher
He did.
Nolans.
He
I think
did.
so,
And
That's because he works with Nolan, though.
He does, and he did Man of Steel, and he did the Superman and Batman themes here. It's fine. He can quit because he's just really turned into just dark tones. Like there's no more melodies.
I
in
don't
his
remember
music.
any of the music. from this
Nothing
movie.
stood out to me.
This
so.
one stood out for me. This
Okay.
one's like you hear Hans Zimmer, and then this fucking thing comes on when Wonder Woman pops out, and it's this big blaring techno, like Mad
guitar,
Max.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's like this weird just rock
Okay.
track, and it's like, well, I know what Junkie XL did. It was this thing. So
All right, well, let's,
you're gonna hear a piece of it.
Yeah, let's go ahead and give it a listen. So that was the Wonder Woman theme, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Wonder Woman is somebody I feel we're going to talk about a lot, even though she has a very minuscule part in this movie.
You could almost argue not really any reason to be in this
Yeah,
movie.
I agree, but we'll get into that.
Or Batman.
So we have a thing for the audience where we play a little game where we like to try to break down the essence of whatever we're discussing within a minute. And you, as the guest, Nathan, we thought we'd let you take a crack at this and maybe have you go first for it.
Mm-hmm.
So we got sound engineer Andy here with the timer.
You have
and,
1 minute to
minute.
sum up.
whenever
the
you're ready to
movie.
go, you just tell him, and then we're gonna go off on it.
You know what? I don't think I'm going to need anywhere near a minute for this, but
I usually do them in like 30.
all right, let me just think for a second. Okay, go ahead. All right, alien comes to Earth. as a child, grows up, has superpowers. There's another guy that dresses up like a bat. They don't like each other. They punch each other a bunch. They realize they're actually friends, and then they fight a giant monster.
There it is. That's pretty succinct. That's 17 seconds. That's maybe a record.
And everyone's depressed.
Everyone is depressed.
You can add 2 more seconds to that.
What's the final time on that? 17? 20 seconds?
seconds.
That is a record, I feel.
Oh, well, mine's not going to be short. You go ahead, start it. I'll put this in. Nathan's was very short and concise. Unfortunately, the movie is not short and concise. No. This movie tells you the origin of Batman again. So Bruce Wayne's parents died. He becomes Batman.
Surprise.
He has daddy and mommy issues. He hates Superman because he's powerful. That's all we're given. Lex Luthor comes in because he hates Superman. Again, like he hates power too. There's no real reason. So he, in some weird twist, tries to get Superman and Batman to fight. They do. Batman stops because they have mothers with the same names. And then Wonder Woman, that's fucking a legit plot point. That's a legitimate plot point. Then Wonder Woman shows up because no reason. And they fight Doomsday. Superman sacrifices himself.
10 seconds.
He dies. The audience doesn't care. No one cried.
I guess we're doing spoilers. Just
Yeah. Spoilers galore.
Yeah.
It's actually that. We'll go ahead and call that. Ryan's lovely wife actually does our new spoiler warning at the beginning of every episode because we hold nothing back. So feel free. Everything is on the table.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is going to be an open discussion with spoilers. I just spoiled a lot of it.
So you've come off the bat. I like everything that you said.
Yeah.
I am in this episode as the staunch and only defender of this movie.
Yeah.
But it is nowhere near. It has a lot of flaws.
Yeah.
I will come right out and say that.
This movie is just one huge flaw.
Yeah, there's a lot of bloat in this movie.
Yes.
I had fun with it, but rethinking, I had a lot of problems too.
Yeah. Before we get into all the problems, because I think there's going to be a lot of negative discussion from this end of the table.
Yeah.
I would really like to maybe discuss the positives first. To not just be a total dick, because I think, like you said, there are some things that are good here. They're buried, but there are some good things here, and I'd like to maybe talk about the positives first. Before
I think, for me, the biggest positive, hands down, Ben Affleck is a great Batman. I think he's fucking fantastic.
I agree with that.
Agreed.
I think that's what pretty much everybody thinks.
I love that. I love the bat suit.
I've not seen anyone really complaining about
it's
him.
Again, it's like the Heath Ledger thing. Like everybody freaked out.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, Ben Affleck can't do it. He was Daredevil. It's like they did the same thing with Heath Ledger. It's like, just have some trust in the casting because Ben Affleck is fantastic.
I like Ben Affleck a lot, and I'm very excited now that he is going to direct a slew of Batman movies.
Yeah.
I think they've given him 3, if I'm
Really?
correct. Yeah. It was originally 1, but now they've given him 3. I'm very excited. I like Ben Affleck as a director. I think he's going to do. He's really awesome as Batman. He has a great imposing figure about him. I think he really kind of captures the character. He sort of
it's all that CrossFit beating tires with sledgehammers.
He loses it towards there at the end.
It's a scene
with the whole Superman
happen,
scene.
by the way.
It does happen.
I'm gonna love this podcast because everything we say, we're gonna get a reaction from sound engineer Andy, who is like incredulously laughing, like we're making this up.
Yeah. None of this is made up. This movie is off the rails. It's another one that I cannot believe there is not more studio muckery. I feel it maybe could have done with some.
What do you mean?
I think this movie was nothing but studio
So you don't think this was Zack Snyder just running?
I think
free?
if he'd have been given free reign, it would have been a bad movie either way. But
I think he was given free reign in the tone, but every plot point just seems like
and
said
setting
studio
up
notes.
All the setup for the future stuff is obvious,
which is really bad and ham-fisted.
That's the worst.
My god!
That's how long our positivity lasted.
Out of all of them, the Jason Momoa Aquaman cameo is so bad.
Stares at the camera for 20 seconds and then just swims away.
The worst.
He stabs it with his spear
and then zooms off.
It's why would you put that in this movie? Because I was actually maybe a little bit intrigued. Like an Aquaman movie, how are they going to do that? And then I saw this and I was like, yep, I don't need to see that. That's money I'm going to save.
I don't know what they're going to do with it.
It looks like an effect out of Smallville.
It really did not look good at all. I didn't even believe that he was underwater. I'm like, he's
No.
not underwater here. This is
I think he
this is
was.
green screened. Was it?
You think he was?
It
His
did not
hair
look
was
like it.
moving around pretty naturally, I thought.
Yeah, I mean maybe, but he did not. I don't know. Maybe they tried to do that to give it the
I might
feeling
have been. I was like half conscious as this was going on because the movie was about over, and I felt like I'd been sitting there for about 5 hours.
At that point, like I think this oh my god, and I want to talk about this more in depth too. But like that scene where Wonder Woman gets the flash drive with all these superheroes, which would be like it'd be a really good Easter egg at the end of the movie. You don't put this in the middle of your movie, and you don't put it right before the fucking climax because it just stops the pacing of the movie.
That was
to do
a terrible
6
scene.
minutes
Watch some YouTube videos
of like
Aquaman.
the Flash, Aquaman, and Cyborg, and the Cyborg stuff. Like, I would love for anybody to come out of that theater who is not a comic book fan being excited about that because that was not set up at all.
You know what? As an aside, like I wish DC would stop trying to make Cyborg a thing. Like,
he's
Cyborg
not great.
sucks.
Yeah.
You know, like he's so lame.
I
Like,
liked him in Teen Titans, but
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
really, he wasn't great in that. I mean,
Well,
I watched
in
that
the-
for fucking Robin, and
You make what you do is you make Cyborg a Boy Scout, and he can become a good foil. He can be the straight man, but
be
like
like
you
the
don't need it
Captain
with
America.
Superman though, because Superman should be that.
exactly, Superman is your golden boy.
He should be your
That's
golden
what
boy.
he should be. Yeah.
But anyway, but all right. So this flash drive that has all these files of the superheroes.
Batman
for future
just
movies.
like gets a hold of her on like AOL Messenger
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
He's like, "Hey, what's up? Check this shit out."
Yeah, it's like an ICQ
And she-
chat from like the 90s.
So
Like, how does he
and
even
then-
know like what is happening here? You know, like
And they have logos designed. Who the fuck designed the logos for these superheroes that aren't superheroes yet?
Lex Luthor, dog.
Why would he design logos for his
I don't know.
enemies?
Also,
God.
not even his enemies. He's never even met them. Like none of them
Ah.
know each other, and he's like, I can understand him keeping tabs on these people because he's obviously interested in the meta-human thing or
Sure,
whatever.
yeah.
But that makes sense. But it's like, well, I'm gonna put together, get in Photoshop, make me a little
Yeah.
image for their individual folders, you know, and it's, what is going on?
did you guys? I like that that this flash drive had a file of the Flash on it. Huh?
That was a pun.
Yeah, right. That was terrible. I'm
That
sorry.
was pretty bad.
I don't get it.
You had that
actually.
great epic segue with Andre.
Yeah,
And then
well,
you did this.
I
And,
can't be on all the time, dog. That's why you're my co-host. You got to pick up this slack.
No. I'm going to be like Batman, and we're just going to fight for no reason.
See, that's
Starting now.
why man, they could have had so many better reasons for them to fight in this movie.
Yeah.
And then like what event? Like I still don't. Why did they fight?
I think that's a big thing. I think a lot of these plot points in this movie, like you walk away after seeing the movie, after even reading about it more, you don't know why. Like,
Yeah.
why are they fighting? It's literally because Batman fears Superman's ability to do something, but then we're never showed like the consequences. What we're given logically, this movie wastes an hour setting up like this incident in Afghanistan, which we'll talk about because I'm with you on that. But it sets up this incident where Superman goes to Afghanistan to save Lois Lane after everybody else dies, but then Lois Lane gets threatened. He comes in and he does something. Is he in trouble for doing something in the village and people dying? Is he in trouble for people getting shot? Like, why is he in trouble?
They blamed all the people dying on him. That
All right.
was a leak Luther put out.
That is
Yeah.
completely unnecessary. We just saw Man of Steel, and like the end of Man of Steel is like 30 minutes of like people dying, cities getting destroyed. Like,
Yeah, they could have used that.
the smart thing to do is you can keep that Ben Affleck stuff with him running into the city to save people as Superman's destroying it, and then you cut to like the Senate trial. For that, you don't need this Afghanistan subplot, and like I think it really only exists to kill a certain character. If Nathan, you would like to take over, because I know this is an issue for you, and I
Well,
agree.
it's not that I'm such a huge fan of this character that I was like, oh, because I didn't even know it was him when I
Yeah.
saw the movie. I read
You
about
wouldn't
it later.
if you-
Yeah,
yeah.
how would you know? I mean,
He is listed in the credits.
Yeah, but-
so like it is canon. Like that's what it was.
but yeah, I didn't even know about it till like a day or two.
Well, I kind
after.
of figured once he was the photographer, I was like, oh, that was.
But then he said he was like CIA secret agent.
Yeah,
it's
so
like,
that's what threw me.
not
I was
right.
like, what?
So Jimmy Olsen is a CIA secret agent.
And he is executed by a point blank shot or a bullet to the face,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you need something to set the tone of this movie and what it's going to do with these characters, I don't think there's anything better you could do.
Jimmy
execute
Olsen, yeah.
fucking Jimmy Olsen.
Jimmy Olsen
with a bullet to the head.
He is introduced, and within a minute, he is shot in the face.
Jimmy
Right,
Olsen,
like-
who is
That's
usually,
Zack Snyder's respect for the DC universe.
Yeah, I mean, usually he is Superman's best friend. Jim.
and confidant, and
Yeah.
he's integral.
Yeah.
To Superman.
He's like Bucky to
Yeah.
Captain America almost. Like Captain
he's-
America's the big tough, and Bucky's the normal, like, hey, I'm just a dude, but we're best friends still. It humanizes him almost, I feel.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Olsen, to be fair, is a very cheesy character, I feel. Like.
Yeah.
He is, and that's by design.
He's a product of the '60s or '50s when he was around. Like that,
and you
made
know
more
that's
sense back then.
fine. I don't have a problem with that necessarily, but to me, it really just says like, I don't know how. I'm sure you guys are familiar with this to some extent, but like in the '90s, when comic books all had to become like ultra dark and
Edgy.
gritty, and everybody had to
When
start
Superman had a
killing-
mullet.
yeah, and
Yeah.
that's when all the DC characters either got killed or whatever, or went nuts. And it's like, we can't have a cheesy ass character like Jimmy Olsen in this movie. This is a modern movie, so it's like he's going to be a CIA agent. We're going to execute him, and that'll be it, And it's like that's just the tone of the movie from there on out. Like,
I'm glad you brought up like the '90s, the dark, gritty like DC universe, because that is firmly what this movie is. And I'm gonna talk more negative as we go on, and there will be maybe some more positives. I don't know, but Zack Snyder seems like he fell in love with this when he was a teenager, and that's like the Superman Batman he knows is this dark and gritty stuff. And I'll go out and say it, like, I don't like that. Like, I like my superheroes to inspire people, especially Superman. Superman is a symbol of hope, justice, and the American way. Like,
I give you that, yeah.
In any fucking context, like, even in the 90s, like, so this movie, spoiler alert, we already given that, like, it ends with Doomsday, which I think the trailer is fucking spoiled. But the Doomsday arc, if you know from the comic, ends with Superman's death. Superman in the comics, like, Doomsday is on a warpath to the city. Like, the superheroes are all fighting him out, like, in this Nowheresville. And Doomsday is headed towards Metropolis. And Superman jumps in the line of fire and just takes pummeling after pummeling. Just
Sacrifices
gets beat.
himself.
Yeah. To save the city, to buy the other heroes more time. Like, the Superman in this universe inspires nobody. He is
That's
just
my big complaint.
a murderer.
As the big Superman fan here at the table, the Superman in this movie is a giant pussy and a huge waste of this character. Like, he does nothing but get beat up in this movie. Like, at no point am I really like, yeah, this is Superman taking charge, taking lead. He's not looked at as a leader. He's just fodder through this entire movie.
seems like he's got like contempt for the people. Of
Yeah.
the planet
That's
more than anything.
that's
like,
I think more so. I wouldn't.
yeah,
I wouldn't
save them.
argue he's a pussy necessarily.
I mean,
like
he spends like Superman and Wonder Woman constantly get the best of him and one up him. Like even in the fight with Doomsday,
Batman.
Yeah, what I say,
You said Superman and Wonder
Yeah,
Woman.
Batman and Wonder Woman are constantly getting the better things of him.
Well, again, that's because of a fucking plot issue. Like it's like that final fight. It's Lois Lane does not belong anywhere in that final fight.
Dude, no.
But like Superman, for some reason, is burdened with getting the kryptonite spear out of the well to fight Doomsday. It's like, motherfucking screenwriters, do you not realize you have Batman and Wonder Woman there? Either of which you could be like Superman, just say a line like, "Hey, obviously you guys know kryptonite hurts me. Maybe one
Can
of you
you
should
get this,
it."
please?
You know, some semblance of teamwork. So like when this Justice League thing starts to form, like you don't feel any bonds or teamwork. It's just three people murdering the shit out of an alien. Like
Yeah.
that's all it is. Like they don't work together. So like I don't know.
Batman spends most of that fight running away, like diving.
He does, yeah.
diving for
Yeah.
safety below park benches and
Yeah.
shit. Like,
Which, you know, I think it's fair. Like
yeah, I mean,
Batman
I-
doesn't
I
belong in the
get it,
Doomsday
but,
fight.
Yeah, it's like, why?
But why put him there?
Why
Yeah.
I don't get why did they dude Doomsday was wasted in this movie.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
and
Well-
he was shoehorned in to kill Superman, which surprise surprise he's not dead at the end either. I mean,
Well, and more so, again, screenwriting issue. Superman dies once. Like, he gets sent out into space with Doomsday, gets blown up with a nuke, and you see his fucking corpse.
See, he's not dead up there. He's
he
severely
is
drained.
like-
he comes back once
close
the
to
sun
death.
hits him, which is what he needs is the yellow
Well, that's
sun.
the thing. Is
He's
alright,
close
so
to death, but he's not dead up there.
He's
I say-
dying. The sun heals him. We're gonna fucking bury his dead body and put it under the ground. Like, you fucking idiots. Like, put him out in the sun. Like, it's just logically
You know why that?
mind numbing.
You know why that's in the movie though, right? The thing of him in space where he's all
so
fucked
he can
up.
float like Christ.
Well, that
Because
one
Zack
of the
Snyder loves
millions
Christ
of
imagery.
shoehorned Christ images, but
Also,
the thing.
real quick, I'm sorry, I'm gonna let you finish. Oh, God damn it, that's Kanye. Oh no, I Kanye'd you.
You did
Oh
totally
no.
Kanye, Nathan.
But like, did you guys pick up on all the Christ imagery, and then they release this movie on Easter, and then they kill Superman?
I did not even
Like,
pick
they
up on
killed
that.
Jesus on,
Well, don't forget that there's a
Right.
kryptonite spear. You know,
just like it. Oh my
And-
God, Nathan, you complete me.
there's a lot of shit like that.
What were you going to go
Yeah,
on
but
with,
please
though?
continue.
Well, to me, the movie felt like Zack Snyder, who is I want to say has gone on record saying he doesn't really like the character Superman, like several times.
You
and
can
that
tell.
really comes through.
Yeah,
Yep.
you can
In
absolutely
your
tell.
movie, why would you even do a movie? Well, I know why. They gave him a shitload of money.
Yeah,
but
obviously.
But to me, the movie was like he read The Dark Knight Returns and was like, "That's pretty cool. We need to make a movie around this, but we're not going to adapt this book. We're just going to shoehorn shit from it into
I'm going
a
to take
story."
parts from other things, too.
Yeah, and like, because, all right, if you've ever read The Dark Knight Returns, you know that Batman and Superman are not exactly friends in that.
There's been a
But
long time in distance.
It comes from contempt and animosity that's built up over years and decades.
Not first meetings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Batman immediately dislikes him because of which, for based on what happened in the previous movie, it's understandable. But he's also like the world's greatest detective or whatever. So it's like you're not going to put any more thought into this other than like you're not even considering the fact that he was fighting another alien that was clearly trying to kill everybody. And yeah, a lot of shit got fucked up, but it's like you're not even going to take that into account when you're judging this guy. You know, it's like
Yeah,
he's
It's like the nuclear bomb scenario. Do you sacrifice? How many do you sacrifice for the greater good of the rest? Like,
yeah, and so when they do finally have their ridiculous fight at the end, Batman's giving him all these speeches about like, oh, I bet you were told you're special, and my parents taught.
Yeah.
It's all like almost word for
You're
word.
not
from,
brave.
It's a lot
Men
of
are
it is like
brave.
word for word from, or at least close to it from Dark Knight Returns. And it's like you're trying to put in the emotion and the context of something that is like years after these guys have met and
Yeah.
grown. They
they
you
know each other.
Yeah, they know each
Well,
other, and
it's
they
history. It's
Yeah,
history.
exactly.
Which I think the DC universe is really rushing, and I
yeah,
think
exactly.
it's a bad
it's
move.
If there's any sign that DC is really just trying to get too much in one movie, it's that. Like they want you to like identify with this Batman character. Like he's so old and worn down. He's just sick of everything.
Yeah.
It's like we just met this guy. Technically, I mean, we know who Batman is, of course, but like.
We know who Batman is, yet they felt the need to give us another goddamn origin
Yeah,
story.
it's like-
They're gonna do it again in this fucking Spider-Man reboot too. You know,
I
it,
guarantee
dude.
you they won't.
You don't? I hope not.
I know they're
really
not
don't.
in
Marvel
Civil War.
Studios has gone on record saying they're done with origin stories.
Thank
Like they're
God.
just gonna pick
I'm
up
so
in media
fucking
res.
over them. We know what is going on.
They're
Yeah.
definitely not doing it in Captain America. They said that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just-
because he's
just pops
coming in
up,
already
yeah.
established at that
Yeah.
point. So
Yeah,
But so yeah, then there's that, and there's the scene where he's rescuing Martha, you know, and
that
he-
is the
he
best
cra-
scene in the movie. I
That's
feel.
that fight scene was cool.
That
I think
fight
it's the
scene
best
is
fight
fucking
scene,
great.
But at the end of it, when he busts through the wall or whatever, and he's got that gun, and the guy's like, "Oh, you better get away! I'll fucking do it, man." And he's like, "Yeah, I believe you." And then he
shoots.
blasts the guy. Well, he shoots his fire tank thing, and it's
So,
and that scene is
Batman
like almost
using
directly
guns.
from Dark Knight Returns, except the guy didn't have a flamethrower; he just had a gun or something. But it's like I said, I feel like they read that comic and they were just like, "Oh, we need that. Let's just write a script around these few scenes because they're cool." Like there was no more thought put into the movie than that. I don't think we just need to make some shit look cool,
yeah.
and they kind of did that.
That's where
but-
like Zack Snyder does make things look cool, but like I don't know, man. I don't want to hate
He
on
has
the dude, but
he does have a good visual style usually.
Yeah.
It didn't work for me here though.
I think a big problem with it is the fucking editing in this movie is just so all over the place, man.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Because I think that's
the
where we
weakest
need
part.
to go next. It's so jumbly. My biggest thing with this movie, and like I got it when Nathan and I were talking about it later, was the fact that number one, there should have been no Batman dream sequences in this fucking movie. They added nothing.
Yeah.
They were long. They were awful. And then at one point, he's dreaming about a world already taken over by Darkseid.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, how does he even fucking know who Darkseid is?
I think that was supposed to be some kind of, like, vision of the future, not necessarily a dream. I don't know.
Okay.
But, like,
well, even if he has that vision of the future, then he wakes up from the dream into another
yeah.
dream where the Flash comes through, and let me say, this is easily like the worst looking Flash costume. Mm-hmm. And they did a Flash costume in the 90s for a TV show that was like rubber ears and everything that looked pretty bad.
He looked
this
like
is
a Power
even worse.
Ranger or something.
Fucking
Was
did.
it? I think was it not supposed to be him like in the Time Force? Was that not Time Force Flash? Like in that
The Speed Force.
The
And
Speed Force,
The
thank
Speed
you,
Force
yeah.
is still like the Flash suit with like a little device around the chest or whatever. Like it's not like like you said, it's like a militarized combat helmet.
Of
like
course.
It's fucking stupid. But like
You know, I will
so
say...
he dreams that Flash comes and tells him that Lois is the key to Superman. So like they wrote in a huge plot point that moves along the plot in a dream sequence that makes no sense.
I will say,
hate this fucking
if
movie.
if they'd been more subtle about the rest of the setting up, I do like the idea of the Flash doing that. I
Yeah,
think that's
yeah.
really cool. Like maybe not after an extended like 10-minute or what maybe 5-minute dream sequence.
I think
but
if he came in during
like if
reality,
Bruce,
that would be really
yeah.
cool.
If Bruce was just like chilling out in the Batcave, and then all of a sudden a portal opens, and like
Mm-hmm.
this guy he doesn't even know exists yet comes through and is like telling him whatever he told him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's a subtle way of like not really subtle maybe, but like
It works better.
yeah, it's
It'd
like
be a
it's like
great
5 seconds,
tease.
and he's just like, "What the fuck was that?"
Yeah.
You know, because he doesn't know who the Flash is yet at this point. So like,
Well,
and then just
yeah.
don't mention it again. Don't.
Well, I'll tell you what. Like, so you do that scene, right? Like, one, you don't make it a dream sequence because that just makes no logistical sense.
Mm-hmm.
But then you also do, like, again, like, why would he be telling Batman that Lois is the key to stopping Superman? Like, you would need
Why
Flash
not
to come
prepare him
in
about Darkseid and be
and
like,
say
hey,
something like Superman's not your enemy. Be like, be a fucking hero. And
Yeah.
like, for a superhero movie, this is the most anti-superhero movie. Like, still, nobody fucking saves anyone, really. Like, even the scenes in the middle that are like really badly edited of Superman saving people, like he catches that one rocket, and then you see him floating to the people like that are flooded on top of the building. Like, everything's flooded, they're on top of the building waiting to get saved, and you see him float down as Jesus, because that's what Zack
course.
Snyder loves. But you don't even see them get saved. It like cuts away. Nobody saves anybody in the superhero movie, and it's just
again,
it's just wrong-headed.
I also have an issue with like again, I'm a big Superman guy. Like, why it seems like he's struggling holding up this rocket capsule, and it's the strength comparisons of Superman in this movie are they just peaks and
It
valleys.
might be a
like,
thing where he's trying not to break it too. Like it might be really. I mean, I don't
maybe
know.
I
but
guess I don't know, but yeah, it just looks he's like obviously struggling to hold it up. There's another scene I noticed where like Superman is fighting. I think it's in the Batman fight where he's like visibly sweating, and it's like. Superman would not sweat. Like,
Well, he would if Kryptonite was around.
but I don't think. I think this was not Kryptonite was around. I don't know. I should maybe watch it again. Although I don't know.
Because it
I'll
might
wait
have
for
been after he caught the Kryptonite gas grenade.
maybe.
Well,
I don't know the scene you're talking about because I didn't notice the sweat.
I think
I'm
honestly
just
maybe it was in the
speculating.
desert, and it was just like when he after the Lois Lane thing,
Oh,
and I was just like, this doesn't make sense. Like Superman should not be sweating. Like
let's
Yeah,
just
that's
talk
true.
about like how no one in this movie has any motivation to do anything that they do ever.
fair enough. Yeah.
Because
yes, yeah.
all right, let's start with Superman. What does he do in this movie exactly? He doesn't like Batman.
Again, like I said, he gets beat up in this movie.
okay,
Like,
but like, why does he do the things he does in the movie? Let's think here. He doesn't like Batman because Batman is a vigilante who goes about his own rules and takes care of criminals, but he does it in an illegal way. Fair enough, except you're fucking Superman.
And
you
that's
do the
exact same thing
shit
you do.
on a much greater scale because your actions doing that have killed thousands of people.
And you're in the public eye, whereas Batman does things in the shadow.
He doesn't really seem that motivated to get the people on his side. And that's the weird thing. Like,
the whole public versus Superman thing is like talked about.
He doesn't really
once
seem
or
that
twice,
concerned
but you
about
never,
it.
There's never follow up.
And there's a statue of him in the city. Like, why do they like him or not? I don't understand. Like, they like him enough to build a statue of him.
I think the whole him not being I think that's the whole purpose of that also shoehorned end fucking Pa Kent scene with Kevin Costner on the top of the mountain.
That was weird.
That's
again,
maybe the worst point of the movie.
That also did not need to be in this movie, much like it added nothing to this film but 10 extra minutes.
Okay, so Superman...
Not the worst. I've got one that's worse.
So Superman has no real like strong motivating factor in this movie. Batman kind of starts off with one. He does start off with one. He is in Metropolis when all that shit goes down. Mm-hmm. He sees his building. Some of his friends get killed in like really brutal ways. So he's like, I got to keep Now, that's where it kind of goes off because he goes from... He should be smart enough to know that it's not just Superman wrecking shit for the hell of it. Like, he's fighting a guy who is clearly the bad one in this situation. Maybe he doesn't know all the details.
But yeah, you would think so.
But
I mean, he is the world's greatest fucking detective.
He should put two and two. I see two people fighting. One of them going out of their way to destroy shit and kill people. The other one at least attempting to stop him. I'm probably going to side with the one that's not murdering people on purpose, you know? So, and I'm sure Superman's given some interviews of some kind in that 18 months or whatever it was. But Batman goes from, I got to keep, you kind of get the idea, it's like, we need to figure a way out to protect ourselves from this guy if it ever comes to it. But he goes from that to like, I need to murder this guy, like as soon as possible. And that's basically his motivation. He has no other reason for he wants to kill him for like why exactly?
Yeah. They don't explicitly state any reasons ever. Like you can kind of infer if you are a legitimately like I don't know, if you're kind of even remotely intelligent, like you can be like, well, I can kind of see where they're going, but the film never tells you.
Yeah, and like I can understand wanting like countermeasures against him because you still don't know a ton about him, but it's like you went straight to let's fucking kill him.
Yeah,
you know, and it's like
it makes no sense.
And it puts him on the level with Luthor, who wants to do the same thing. He wants to have this silver bullet against the Superman, but
which makes
both,
sense. I mean,
but they both come to the same result. Like, oh, let's just kill him because we can. Like, it was a really weird like meshing of the two. It's like
again, it's very unheroic on Batman's part.
That brings you to Luthor, who's probably the biggest example of no motivation. Like, why do you? Okay, you don't like Superman because of the same reason Batman does. Or supposedly because he's dangerous and we can't stop him if he ever decides to just kill everyone or take everything over. Fair enough. That's a legit, concern. But beyond that, like, his plan is super convoluted. I don't understand. Like,
I couldn't even tell you what his plan is.
Helen Hunt's character, that senator, or whatever.
Oh, Holly Hunter.
Holly Hunter.
Yeah, you're right. Who's Helen Hunt?
Helen Hunt's mad about you.
Okay,
yeah.
Twister.
/ what's
Twister.
What's that Jack Nicholson one? Oh, Twister 2.
As Good as It Gets.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good movie. Anyway, so she's all about like this guy needs to be kept in check. We need to, all that stuff. She's somewhat anti-Superman, or at least let's figure out a way to control him. So Lex Luthor's like, all right, well, I got an idea. If you give me all this shit, this kryptonite and everything, I'll make weapons and stuff and make sure we can at least have a fighting chance. And she's like, nah.
Yeah, she immediately turns on him. Like,
I'm not going to do that because you're just going to try to kill him. It's like, what do you think I've been talking about?
Was she super or very, very against Superman? Because I didn't get that from her.
She was at least
she was concerned.
Yeah.
But like she was an anti-Superman. So when like she refused, like I understand. Like because like Lex Luthor is clearly going to jump to let's fucking murder him and even more ridiculous shit later. But her motivations made sense. For me, her motivations made sense.
Yeah, it just seems weird that the government of all groups would not want some kind of weapon that they could use to
Yeah, that's
fight
true.
against this thing, you know?
And again, it goes in the face of the end of Man of Steel, because isn't the Man of Steel like Superman kind of works with the government and says like, hey, I'll work with you, but you gotta trust me. Like he throws on the satellite or something and says some dumb joke,
And
but
then none of that happens.
and then like
Yeah.
they completely forget
Yeah.
about that. And yeah, it's
I just would like to point out, I think compared to these other two, Superman Returns is such a much better Superman movie
I 100% agree.
than either of those.
I don't really remember that movie very
Man, I
well.
like Superman Returns so much.
I
That was
saw it.
Brandon
I do too.
Roth, right? As Superman.
Ralph,
God,
yeah.
he was so good.
I saw that movie. just
I
have no
don't
memory of
dislike
There's
the guy
some
who's playing
issues,
him
but-
now. I think he's maybe a little too svelte, a little too ripped as Superman.
Well, that's Zack Snyder.
Exactly.
Everybody has to be super
I like
ripped.
Batman in that style. I like Ben Affleck super fucking jacked because I'm a big gay ball, and I like.
Gay
Okay.
ball.
But no,
That would have been a better title for this movie. Batman v Superman Gay Ball.
you got some other points in here we haven't touched on. I see
Oh, well, let's see. I have a list here.
the Lex Luthor Jolly
This
Rancher
is-
scene. I liked that scene.
I
That
don't
was
know
one
what
of
the fuck
few.
that was supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's just it's Luthor knowing he has control over that senator now, and
It's
he's
just
going to
so
let him
creepy,
do.
like-
Yeah, I like
Well,
it.
Lex Luthor doesn't really strike me as in the comics at least as a creepy guy. He's just an asshole, like the most arrogant person that's ever lived.
I agree there. He is much more
This
arrogant
guy,
than this interpretation. But I've also
He's like the
read
Riddler or something.
that
in
this one
movie.
is not the original Luthor. This is like his cloned son.
No.
You don't think?
No, it's not. All right, so let me drop some knowledge bombs on you. Originally, Bryan Cranston was going in for Lex Luthor.
Man, that would have been so much better.
right? And Jesse Eisenberg was going to be Jimmy Fallon. But Zack Snyder fell
Jimmy
in
Olsen?
love. Yeah, Jimmy Olsen. Well, Jimmy Fallon would have made a much better movie if he got shot in the head at the beginning.
Yes.
He
But
plays Jimmy Fallon in this movie.
he would have been Jimmy Olsen, but like he had that weird Jesse Eisenberg manic energy, and Zack Snyder's like, I think you're the perfect Lex Luthor. So they
That
outed
is wow. That
Bryan
is the
Cranston.
first big miscast I've
Yes.
heard. God damn
Well-
dude, no way. Bryan Cranston.
I actually want to talk about Lex Luthor because I too think he would have been a fantastic Luthor. I'm glad he stayed away from this movie. But when we came out of this, didn't you say you enjoyed Lex Luthor?
I thought it was okay. I mean, it was a nice different turn of it. I didn't think
Okay.
it was perfect. I think Kevin Spacey was the best one.
Okay, I agree. And I like Gene Hackman too. Nathan, you might be on me with this, but I hate this Lex Luthor. It is more akin to, like you said, the Riddler. Like I get the Joker. Like
He's very
just
Joker-esque,
all about
yeah.
anarchy and like his energy, his like comedic little nuances, like belong in a different fucking movie. Like with a movie so dour and intent on fucking hating superheroes and life, like superheroes aren't fun. There's no fun in this movie. To have Jesse Eisenberg clowning around and sticking Jolly Ranchers in people's mouth, it sticks out like a sore thumb. It just doesn't belong in this movie.
I think that's the big. There is no fun in this movie. Like I was.
They tried. I think there are more jokes. Like Perry White, Lawrence Fishburne's character, says something like, "Where Clark Kent go to? He click his heels and go back to Kansas again." Like they try more. Like Man of Steel had zero jokes. I think Batman vs Superman has jokes. They're just not good, at least.
I think this whole movie boils down, and the other one too, is that Zack Snyder is trying very hard to copy Christopher Nolan,
Yeah, that's a
and
mistake.
falling very, very short of that mark. That's my biggest opinion on it.
I agree.
Nathan?
I think my biggest problem with Lex Luthor in the movie was, well, they try to give him dialogue that makes him sound like he's just kind of how can I put it? He's like above everything, but he's like making these weird little comments and stuff, and everybody's just like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" You know. And but the thing is, like when what's her name, Holly Hunter, she's in his like little den or office or whatever, and he's talking about that
fucking
demon
painting.
and he's like,
You think Daddy would care if I changed one thing? That part was really dumb.
and then like he's like, "Ooh, the red capes are coming," and he says it twice, and it's like,
The red capes are coming.
What do you, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, there's only one red.
There's one
cape
red
in the
cape,
movie.
and I know he's not being literal probably, but like
Oh,
it's just such a dumb line. Like
It's a
and he
blatant call to the redcoats are coming, which is why you would need a fucking reference to Paul Revere in a fucking Superman movie.
Exactly.
It's very
Makes no
ham-fisted.
sense.
very
And at the
ham-fisted.
end, when he's like, "Oh, the god is dead," and he starts making like the bell noises, and it goes on for what seems like an hour, and it's just like his dialogue sucks. I don't
Yeah.
know how else to say it. Like there's just
Yeah, I agree.
the whole movie's dialogue sucks.
Luther's
but
the worst
Luther's
written character. Superman's second worst, I feel.
I think they're all bad. I like what Ben Affleck's doing as Batman. I think his character is badly written. I think every character is badly written. Everyone acts for the sake of plot. There's no like actual character motivation. There's no reason their characters would be doing this. It's literally just to get to these different set pieces, none of which are particularly good, except for that one scene where Batman's rescuing Martha Kent.
Again,
Which,
there's little parts in
why the fuck
every
is he
scene.
rescuing Martha
Yeah.
Kent to begin with?
That's
It's just-
what I got. Like, he's about to stab Superman with his kryptonite spear,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, "Save Martha!" Like, why would he be calling his mom by?
You're
his
letting
first
Martha
name?
die. You're letting Martha
Do you
die.
call the only people I know that call their moms by their first name hate their moms.
Well, I do it, but I
Yeah.
love
Well,
my mom.
I don't. All right, maybe there's exceptions,
But yeah, I do it because it's funny.
yeah, but you wouldn't typically do that. I
No.
don't think most, especially Superman, who's
Save
clearly
my mom. You would, and especially at that point, like when you're
Yeah.
facing, you wouldn't say,
Martha.
I'm doing it from my mom. There, going back just a bit, I do want to. There are little things that I do like in that fight scene with Batman and Superman, after he hits him with the first kryptonite grenade, and he's got him against the wall, and he's punching him in the face, and then like you see Superman start to get the energy back, the kryptonite's wearing off, and like so it stops moving. I love that little scene where
that was kind of cool. That little, I mean, but that's like a 2-second part. Of the
I know,
fight. Like,
but that part was
then-
pretty cool. But then the rest is also it's so dumb. And,
but the
like,
thing with his mom, it's like Batman is literally about to kill him. You know what I mean? He's got him on the ground. He's about to stab him in the fucking heart or whatever. And for some reason, him mentioning his mother is enough for him to be like, all right, I guess you're cool. I'll go save her.
Well,
why would he
it's-
give a
it's-
fuck
it's-
if he's that
yeah.
far to the point of wanting to kill this guy?
and Superman can hear a pin drop in Africa, and he cannot locate where his mom is being hidden.
Yeah, and
That's true.
it's just silly. Like Batman was
true.
like set on killing him at that point.
It's some screenwriter thought they were fucking very clever when they pieced together as they were doing their research for this movie. Hey,
They have the
Batman's mother's name is Martha. Superman's mother's name is Martha. Maybe they bond over this, and it's the fucking dumbest thing. It's the worst. It is one of the worst plot conceits
Now, see,
in a Hollywood movie I've seen in years.
if he would have just said my mother, because he was.
Yeah.
See, that's another thing. He goes to the fight setting or whatever, and he is there because he's like, I'm not going to fight this guy. I'm going to get him to help me because it's why should we fight? But
Which
for the
was,
first
like,
time,
the first
someone
time
is
I
actually.
liked him.
It's
Yeah.
the first time in the movie someone is actually thinking like in a rational manner.
Yeah.
For like
Agreed.
2 minutes because he gets there, Batman immediately opens up on him. Fair enough. If he thinks he's there to fight him, then. Although, why was he just waiting there? Like, how did he even know he was coming at that point?
He didn't.
He's just there
honestly
waiting,
Didn't.
like-
There's no reason.
Well, no, he told him, he's like, next time you put out that light.
No, I get that, but
Yeah.
like at that
Oh, that's
specific
right, yeah.
moment
That's
when
okay, yeah.
when he's there talking to Luthor, Batman is also just happens to be there, setting his shit up. It's like they didn't agree to meet here.
Well, but that's
That's
why
true,
he
it's
turned
very
on the light.
coincidental.
He
But
was
it was-
calling him out.
Yeah, but what
I get
Nathan's
how he got
saying-
him there,
Yeah, It's Nathan saying like at that exact moment, it's very happenstance
I
that
getcha.
Batman's setting
Because
this
it's
shit
also the
up
same exact
as
time
Luthor's
that
telling
Luthor-
him you need to kill the Batman at this exact moment now when he's ready for you.
Fair enough. Yeah.
and Luthor, like Batman didn't know they were there, and he didn't like. It just happened to coincide when Luthor also had kidnapped his mom.
Master plan.
But
going
Luthor
off.
and Batman would have had to have been in some kind of communication for that to work.
Yeah.
'Cause he's like, all right, I'll go hang out at Gotham and turn on my light at this time. You tell him to come over here. But they weren't doing that. You know what I mean? They were just like, they weren't talking at all as far as I remember.
Yeah.
I mean, Luthor was kind of manipulating him the whole time, I guess, which is
Luthor,
get it.
really
there's-
out of character
yeah.
for
I
Batman
think it,
too.
Yeah.
I think it shows just the terrible writing and directing on the whole. That
let's we should talk about the
Well,
cave troll. At
One
the
more
end.
thing though about that scene.
I
though.
mean, Doomsday.
is when Superman gets there, he's already decided he doesn't actually want to fight him. Again, actually thinking logically for once. Batman isn't thinking quite as logically. He immediately starts shooting him with giant machine guns and
I mean, he
weird
has
sound
the
wave
intent
thing.
to just kill Superman.
yeah,
now.
like I don't know why he thought that would work, but just slow him down, I guess. So Superman's like, "Come on, just relax." And so he gets through all his traps, he gets to Batman and he's like, he doesn't say like, just like hold him in place and be like, look, fucking talk to me, you know? He just shoves him across the fucking like.
Where like Superman is he could just hold Batman there and be like,
could have just grabbed him by the arms and just been like,
you're not leaving.
Just fucking listen to me.
Listen
for
to me.
a minute,
Yeah,
and
totally.
If you're still not convinced, we'll fight.
But no,
I really need
he
your help
totally
right
just
now.
pushes him away. Yeah, it's so
instead
dumb.
he shoves him like 100 feet and then they fight and like a Batman. What does he do? He ends up like beating Superman with a kitchen sink that he is like. Is this a Tarantino movie or something? Like,
You know, that reminded me of Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines, where Arnold
been a long
Schwarzenegger is
time.
fighting that female robot in the bathroom, and they're using kitchen sinks to fight each other. It's just like, come on. This is cheesy. It's stupid.
what's the Johnny Cash movie where he gets all pissed off because he can't find his pills or something?
Walk hard. Or
Walk the line.
He's in the bathroom. He just rips the sink off the wall.
Yeah.
But so yeah, they're fighting, and which led to probably the funniest scene in the movie unintentionally when Batman like lassos Superman. He's like swinging him around the room.
Yeah.
I was actually laughing out loud at that scene, like when it was because it was just
was
so
ridiculous,
It looked
dude.
so stupid. Like,
Again, and that's my thing. Like, dude, how is this? All of this happening to fucking Superman? Like, are you kidding me?
Kryptonite.
Well,
It's kryptonite.
well, it goes back to the whole Dark Knight Returns thing I was talking about. Like that's pretty much what happens, and not panel for panel reshoot or anything, but he weakens him with kryptonite and kicks the shit out of him basically. But throughout the fight, it's like it's obvious that if it weren't for that, Batman
Superman's
would be
gonna
losing
win.
that
Yeah.
fight.
Yeah.
And Superman does end
He
up
does
winning.
end up losing it, but
Yeah.
like
In this movie, they make sure you know Batman would have won.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for mommy issues, Batman would have won, which just goes in the face of the Dark Knight Returns.
yeah, and it's just because I've always thought this about those two fighting in the comics. It's like the only reason he wins is because they write it like that to happen. I mean, it's like that with any comic book,
Yeah.
of course. But it's like if you take a character with the power set of a Superman and put him up against just a dude in a costume, why wouldn't he win that fight in like a millisecond? You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's no way.
But Batman's a popular character, so of course they write it so he has a chance.
And he's
he
also
usually
like
wins.
super smart. I get it. It's a cool dynamic to like have the brains beat out over the brawn because Batman prepares and he researches all these things. But at the I just don't. The way it went down was just
Yeah,
My
I
issue-
don't think it was well done in the movie at all.
My issue with that though is they start writing Superman like he's a dumbass, which
Yeah.
in this movie he kind of is.
yeah,
but
exactly. I
Well,
can give
he's
you
not
that.
a dumbass. He's just trusting and kind of naive. Like he
Yeah,
wants
he's
to
not
see the
quite
good
as,
in
like,
people. Yeah.
I
Batman's
guess that's
cynical.
true.
He immediately jumps to the worst conclusion and prepares for it. Like Superman genuinely believes in everyone. Not in this movie, but in the comics, he genuinely
right,
believes in people.
because in the comics it's like he's like the smartest person ever. His
Batman.
Superman.
Superman?
He's
Yeah.
not the smartest person ever, but he's pretty
He's a
fucking
scientist.
smart.
Like,
Yeah,
he's a
yeah.
scientist.
All right, I don't know if you've ever read Final Crisis, but in that comic book, they try to build a machine that can basically take any thought that you have and make it reality. Like, basically, like if you think about a weapon that could kill Darkseid, for example, I think that's what, I don't even remember. But yeah, he basically is a super complex machine from like thousands and thousands of years in the future. And he builds the fucking thing in that book, you know. Or he's basically a designer and he does everything basically. So it's like this guy is not an idiot, you know what I mean? But as soon as he gets around Batman, they just write him like some kind of frat boy that thinks he's gonna walk in and like
Just punch him in the
fuck this
mouth.
dude
Yeah.
up,
Yeah.
and then Batman just kicks his ass every time. So that's more of an annoyance with that, not necessarily with the movie, but
So let's focus on
Right.
these last two big things of the movie, which are
Doomsday
the Cave
and-
Troll and Wonder Woman.
Okay.
I liked how Wonder Woman looked. I will say that.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed.
I
I'm
did
not
not like-
necessarily a huge fan of that character. I don't really know anything
I
about her.
don't.
but
Yeah.
I thought the way she talked was very odd.
she's not a very good actress.
Gal Gadot is not. I don't
Agreed.
think so. Because even Henry Cavill, he's an English dude, and he does a really great American accent. Why the fuck? What are you doing, Wonder Woman? Like,
Well, before this, she'd only done a Fast and Furious movie.
yeah, you don't have to be super Americanized, but you don't. God damn, it's so very obvious that you're not speaking.
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't even sound Amazonian. Like,
Yeah. I was fine with her. Like It's all right. So whatever. All you people listening or watching, call me like the Marvel fanboy right now because whatever.
are.
Like
It's okay.
I think they are more successful in the movie universe. But like,
Absolutely, there's no question there.
I love Arrow. I love Flash. Like I'm watching Supergirl. Like I do enjoy the DC universe, but Marvel does something great with their casting. It's like every time they cast somebody, that is that fucking character. Like surprisingly, Chris Evans, who is Human Torch, is like the perfect Captain America.
Yeah, absolutely.
They found the perfect Thor. They found the perfect Iron Man. They nailed the casting. Wonder Woman is fine.
She's not stand out.
Fine.
It's okay.
She's not great. I don't think she's bad. She's not
I
a
didn't
great
say
actress
she's
and other
bad,
things.
but she's not. There could have been way better.
She's just fine.
I mean, looks wise, she looks fine, but
Yeah.
like her acting, I would go as far to say it was bad in this movie.
See, I just don't think there was enough there to judge her yet.
Yeah, that's true. But that's the thing. They could have just introduced her at that party scene and just never had her in it again.
I don't get why she's in that final fight
agree with
scene.
that.
But then at the end, like,
And then she gets all the best stuff in that final
she
fight.
shows up and takes the spotlight off of the two main characters of the movie.
It's like, what are you doing here?
That seems like a studio man.
And what the fuck
Yeah.
is with that sword? Like, is it seriously that sharp? It cut fucking Doomsday's arm off.
I guess.
Could it cut off fucking Superman's arm?
That is true. They needed the kryptonite spear to cut into
But yet
Doomsday's
she
skin.
could
How
just-
did her sword cut?
It makes no fucking sense. It's so stupid, dude.
That's a good call, Kyle. That was a very good call.
Again, this is all coming back to my love of Superman, and Nathan doesn't give me this, but I like the Doomsday character too. I think the Doomsday in this movie is fucking atrocious. And as much as you think he's atrocious in the comic book,
It's not
this
that
is
I
like
agree with you.
this
He's
is
a
like
nothing
fucking
character.
double down on the
Yeah.
stupid of this character. I
Well,
mean, he's not fucking great, but he's the one that kills Superman. You got to give him
He's
some
just a
credence.
big threat
Like,
that was designed to kill Superman.
Exactly, yeah.
But like, at least he looked cool in the comics.
Yeah.
Like that's more than he's just the typical generic big CGI monster. He looks no different from like the fucking troll in Harry Potter or the cave troll in Lord of the Rings. Like he is the exact same thing you've seen.
I don't
for 10
really
years
agree
now.
with everything this guy says, but I think Angry Joe from the Angry Joe show put
Oh,
it
I
perfectly.
hate
where-
that guy.
I do too. I do too. Yeah, I think he's a douche. But he said
a total douche.
when he watched the trailer, he's like, "Was that looked like a Michael Bay Ninja Turtle on meth?" That's exactly
not
what it
far
looks.
off, yeah.
No,
That's
I
not far off
totally
at all.
agree with that. It looks nothing like Doomsday. He doesn't like. I get
He
they.
started to look a little bit more when they.
He got
Yeah.
like
The
Rocky.
horns.
He got
yeah.
the bones
Whatever,
and stuff,
yeah.
but they should again. Dude, they wasted him in this
What was
movie.
what was Lex's end game with that though? Like, I'm gonna create this monster that these three can't really stop without the aid of this fucking
But
spear.
I don't know.
What were you gonna do after?
It turned on Lex too, because Superman actually saved Lex from it.
What was Lex Luthor's end game, and then how the fuck did he even do that? Like,
He
you could say
dropped
the
some blood
ship
on
gave
him?
him the formula to create Doomsday, but then why the fuck would the Kryptonian ship have the formula to make Doomsday?
And the ability.
Yeah, like Doomsday was presented as like this ancient birth defect that happened to Kryptonians sometimes, where they basically were that.
And that's what he is in the
And-
comic,
Yeah.
sort of.
Yeah, but
But-
it's like, why would the ship be willing to create that? Why would they have it in their technology? Like, let's create this thing that almost kills us every time it happens. And what was he going to do after, let's say that Doomsday was successful and he killed all three of the superheroes?
Then it just runs rampant.
What were you going to do against him?
Because he
Like-
didn't have kryptonite to stop
Yeah,
it.
and even-
Batman stole it.
And even Superman died in the process of killing him with the kryptonite.
Which was such a dumb, God, they just wanted to kill Superman and bring him back. It was so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
I hope we don't go through that whole process with
Well,
the Force alternate Supermans.
The movie rushes through several stuff. Like,
Yeah.
they do the death of Superman storyline. They do the
Dark
Dark Knight
Knight.
Returns. They do a death in the family by showing you what is presumably Jason Todd's shirt with the ha 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 on it.
While you just said that, and it reminded me, I had something written down here. This will just be quick.
No,
but-
go for it. I mean, that was
okay,
it.
Batman clearly has no issue with killing people in this movie. Maybe he's not going out of his way to do it, but if it happens, whatever.
Yeah.
You know,
well,
because
the Batmobile chase scene alone, like 30 dead people.
Yeah, and you know, I'm not one of those like super staunch people that's like he would never kill, because like realistically, and that's not a term you should use in a movie or a situation like this, but think about it, like if you did what Batman did every night someone's gonna fucking die, and it's gonna be your fault,
Or at least be
some point.
life-alteringly crippled.
Yeah, like you're not gonna be able to go through your entire career and never accidentally kill anyone. It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah.
And so, and as he's gotten older, it seems like in the movie, he's gotten way more lax about doing that. But if Suicide Squad, that's set in the same universe, right? If that's anything to go by, most of his villains are still alive. So, like, you won't kill a guy like the Joker who, presumably, if he's anything like the comic book one, has killed literally thousands of people. But you'll kill just some random
You'll
schmuck.
kill all the thugs,
Yeah,
not like these really bad
This guy
people.
might just be taking this job because his fucking family's poor and he doesn't have another choice or whatever,
Yeah.
But the Joker goes out of his way to murder people constantly. And you're going to send him to Arkham every time. It's like, why wouldn't you have killed him by now?
Yeah.
Well, and I think maybe he has killed him because I mean it's pretty obvious that the Joker in Suicide Squad is going to be Jason Todd.
I don't know.
I don't know if it's obvious yet.
Yeah.
I'm pretty convinced.
It's a fan.
If it's
theory
Jason
thing.
Todd, that's fucking stupid. And again,
I think
just
it is
shows a
Jason
complete
Todd.
Lack of respect for the source
I
material.
mean, I'll take bets on it. I'm going to go ahead and almost guarantee
I
it.
don't think it's necessarily the worst idea, but I mean, anything can be good if it's written. well.
I like it because it's
But will that
different.
be written well if
it
it's
bucks
even-
the
you
norm.
know?
Again, I don't know.
if this was done by Marvel and they made a bold choice like that, I'd be fine. I'd be on board.
Yeah,
Well,
okay.
they did in Iron Man 3. Remember
I know, and I actually loved that Mandarin twist.
Because who gives a shit about the
Yeah,
Mandarin?
it's
You know,
it's an
like-
old dated or an outdated Fu Manchu racist character from the comics. Like whatever, make it Ben Kingsley as an actor being silly. DC has not proven that they understand the material yet. I don't trust them to do this. And more to your point about the Suicide Squad, why even have a Suicide Squad? Why would you have a team of anti-heroes when we just had a fucking movie with anti-heroes? We don't have any heroes yet.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
it just kind of negates
They should be
them.
on the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, like Batman and Superman firmly
and
belong
what's
there.
What's
yeah.
the lineup of the Suicide Squad? You have, I guess maybe the Joker. I don't know if he's
No,
actually-
Joker's not
No,
part of the
It's
Suicide
gonna be
Squad.
Harley Quinn, Deadshot, Boomerang, Killer Croc,
3.
The samurai chick and the witch.
Katana, and Enchantress.
Yeah.
Is Katana a Batman villain?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, she is.
So like 4 or 5 of that are all Batman villains.
Yeah.
And they're all alive, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy who wants to murder someone who probably comes off as more of a hero than a villain at this point. Yeah, he killed a lot of people died in Metropolis, but he was trying to stop someone who was going to kill way more people. He does rescue people. I mean, he saves in the movie, the rocket thing and the Mexican chick in the burning building.
Yeah.
And there was one more. Oh, yeah, the people on the roof.
He didn't save them. We don't know that. He just
Well,
floated to them ominously.
Gave them hope.
I
He
was-
gave them hope.
I was inferring that he did, but maybe he didn't. But
I like to think he didn't. He just floated
just like,
and
"You know
watched
what,
them
you
die and then
dummies."
floated off.
you idiots.
So let's go ahead and we'll wind this down.
Sure. Real quick before we do,
Yeah.
Lois Lane is completely unnecessary in this
I
movie.
know. Dude, there's so many characters unnecessary in this movie.
That was the
I don't-
funniest part of that movie
The sex
to me.
in the tub scene. What the fuck?
Did they
Like,
blur her
literally,
titties? I think so.
They blur.
They
They
had
did
to
the
have.
CG over her titties.
I think they did. I
But
think they blurred them
yes,
titties out.
Yes, sound engineer Andy, you were looking at me like this didn't happen. The first time, no, maybe the second time we see Lois Lane, she's in a tub and she says something like, "I can't do this with Superman. I don't know if I can live my life with him." And then he comes home and she's naked. You see like the side tits, all of that. And then like he jumps in the tub and they fuck and then cut to black and then like no mention of ever again. Like why even have this?
It's not a
dumb little
bubble
plot.
bath either.
Yeah, it's like
It's
clear water.
but you just don't ever see.
You don't see nipples. Like
full
they
of
see
bath
see it
salts.
out. Yeah.
almost everything. That's like can't have nipples in
But
this
it's
movie.
like, why would you have Superman fucking Lois Lane in a tub in a Superman movie? I
I
just
don't know. Yeah.
if their relationship
I
was more
hate Zack
convincing.
Snyder. Zack Snyder doesn't understand superheroes, and he doesn't understand fucking sex either. Like
He's
it's the
done
same
some
thing
good
with
things.
Watchmen.
Watchmen was terrible. I liked 300 though. man.
Hallelujah! As penetration goes on, fuck him. I hate Zack Snyder now. Like he's turned me against him, and like I loved 300.
300 was fucking great.
I love Dawn of the Dead, and I really enjoy Watchmen. And now this has gone back and made me retroactively. I don't know if I do like them anymore. I'm gonna have to go back and really.
I think
reevaluate
300
now.
still holds up pretty well.
I've not seen it in
But-
5 years, so
Yeah,
I don't know.
But yeah, so
in a long time.
I don't know. Would you guys watch this movie again?
No.
God no.
No, not
No.
even the 3-hour director's cut that's
No,
going for the
God.
R?
No.
Let me-
No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I think I might have told you guys this earlier, but when I was in the theater, it's like 11 a.m. because I don't have shit to do on Fridays. So went and watched it, and there was like a surprising amount of old people in the audience. Like a lot of old men. I don't know. Maybe I'm.
They
one
grew
of
up
them
reading
too.
Superman,
Yeah.
dog.
Well, they were in for a fucking rude awakening when they saw this. If they were expecting the shit they grew up with, because it could not be more different. But anyway, so I'm sitting there, and you guys remember how at the end there's the weird Amish funeral that was, where they're dragging his body through a fucking cornfield.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was about, but
I don't know.
whatever. Anyway, so there's like 4 parts in that end sequence
That
I
are just
thought
cut
was-
in, and that's the terrible
and
editing I'm talking about.
I thought it was going to be over, so I was like, "Oh, thank you, God." And like the third time that happened, I didn't think anyone could hear me, but I kind of muttered to myself. I was like, "God damn, how long is this fucking movie?" And the guy next to me just started laughing his ass off because I was like, you could just feel it in the theater. Like people were just like, "Can we get up now?
Can we fucking leave?" Yeah.
Like, and I was like, I don't care if there's an after credit sequence. I'm fucking leaving. I
done.
don't even
Yeah.
want to watch the next movie anyway. So why would I care? And I think I had actually read that there wasn't one. So
Yeah. Even if you did, you wouldn't have missed out on anything.
So,
What-
so you both
they
say
showed
no.
all that stuff in the
well,
movie. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about recommendations, like, no, I wouldn't watch it again. And would I recommend it to anybody? No.
Oh, that's
No.
That was my point of that story. You asked if I'd watch the 3-hour one. It's like I could barely make it through
The
this
2.5-hour one.
So
Yeah.
no way. Like would I sit through another half hour of it?
I know you are more positive than us, and I honestly I respect your opinion and everything. I think
do not. I don't know where you're coming from with this.
I think and you like at least admit some of like the
Oh, I know
flaws and
there's a lot
everything.
of flaws in
But
it,
you
but
still
I've
like
seen
it.
worse. I have seen worse movies easily.
There's
Sure.
a good movie in this movie. I
there,
think.
yeah, there is.
I actually don't know if there is. I think it
It would
could
take
have been a good
massive
movie.
rewrites.
Yeah, I think you'd
but-
have to shoot more stuff too, possibly.
I mean, it's a big. It'd be a
it's
big
bad.
change.
All in was saying, thank God, and I'm excited to see Affleck do Batman.
That's
I'm
the only
excited to
good
see
thing
what he's
that
gonna
came
do
out
it.
of that
Yeah.
was,
I'm excited to see what.
and
he
it's
directs,
not
yeah.
like it's because he was so well written, but
No, even
Affleck's
still-
performance managed to overcome the shit script,
And the fact that he is now in control of it, I'm excited
Wow.
about that.
we'll see
to a
how much
extent,
control
yeah,
he gets.
exactly.
because this is a
And he is going to be in Suicide Squad too. I know that.
Who
So,
cares? We just need another fucking superhero in that movie.
yeah,
at
I
least,
know.
At least
Anyway.
Suicide Squad, the tone of it fits what
It
they're
looks
going for. You know what I
interesting,
mean?
so-
Like it's
Yeah.
it
Maybe
actually looks like it'll
it-
probably be a little
yeah.
funnier than Batman.
Well,
versus-
it'll
It
be
looks like
it'll
it's
be
gonna be
fun
fun at least,
So
yeah.
maybe we'll all
But-
come back together when that one comes out, and
That'd be
we'll
good.
we'll
Yeah.
do that too. We'll see what it compares to. So
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say like I respect your opinion, and I know you have some flaws with it, but like really, it seems like online it's people either love or hate this movie, and I think what this movie is going to be, and I think if you watch this in a few years, you're gonna like it even less.
I would
I
say
don't know
so,
about the
yeah.
R-rated movie, but I think the people who are like really adamant that this is a good movie
we're the same people that were defending episode
Phantom
1.
Menace.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Like
Absolutely.
I
I
think
could
this is
see
going to
that.
be the Phantom Menace.
I could
of
see
the DC
that.
universe. Like
well,
people are going to change their tunes.
when I've
Just
seen
give it time.
when I've seen people online like adamantly defending it, like
I-
not like you where you're just saying, yeah, I didn't think it was terrible.
Yeah,
I get that.
which is I get that too, and
because
that's
there was
fine, yeah.
there were a few decent things. I like Batman.
I
think
came out of it
It's
everybody-
having
frustrating.
fun. Like
I like-
I was still upset. There was a lot of problems, but yeah, I get what you guys are saying too. So
I
but-
wish I had fun.
when I see people really going out of their way
I don't
to
get that
adamantly
either.
defend it, it's just like,
Yeah,
what fucking movie were you watching?
Yeah.
Like, I do not understand how you came to any of the conclusions that this was like
even as a giant Superman
beyond passable.
fanboy,
you
this
know?
movie is awful. To
I think it'd
Superman,
be worse
so.
if you were a huge Superman fan.
It was. That's
you
what I'm
know?
saying.
Yeah,
Like-
as you brought the best point, which is Zack Snyder clearly hate, or maybe that was you. But
That was Nathan, but
yeah,
I
clearly
totally I
hates
agree with it.
Superman,
Yeah,
yeah.
he
I don't
doesn't
think he likes superheroes in general, but it's like, why did you hire? Like Marvel hires people that I feel like
get it.
that I heard someone say this recently. Is like the difference between the two movie studios, at least, is like Marvel understands their fucking characters.
Yeah.
like
I think that's a lot
their
to Kevin
motivations.
Feige.
They understand why they're flawed characters from the start, but they're still likable.
Yeah,
And I think one of the biggest problems with Superman in general is probably making him relatable.
Yeah,
And you're going out of your way to make him less relatable, comparing him to Jesus nonstop. Like, this man is perfect. We should all love him and try to be him.
Yeah.
And
Totally.
It's like, well, that's...
I like the
can't,
flawed
you know what
Superman
I mean?
that questions himself and
Yeah,
the
it's
things
like-
that he does.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, he's still going to come through and do the right thing because that's what he really wants to do in the end. And, you know, he doesn't seem to get, like, I think we might have talked about this, but he doesn't really seem to give a shit about the people he's saving. He doesn't really seem that upset about having to kill, like Zod and all the other thousands of people that died. He doesn't really seem too worried about it.
Yeah.
He never
He
really
just-
even talks about
He
it. He's
floats
just-
through life completely disconnected.
but then he
Like,
gets pissed off at Batman for, like, being a vigilante. It's like,
yeah.
why would you come to that conclusion? You do the same shit on a much greater scale at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what it boils down to. So, I mean, it's fun, but it's flawed. That's what I'm going to say.
Okay, well, I would add it's not fun. And
Yeah, you did
people
not have
taking
I
their
didn't have
kids
it,
to the
yeah.
theater, like, how I don't even understand how a kid could have fun at this movie.
At a 2.5 hour movie. Yeah, I wouldn't
It's-
do that.
It's
so.
not. I don't think it's fun.
Let me see if we covered everything.
I think we did.
I got Jimmy Olsen, floating Batboy dream. I don't know.
We
what
didn't,
that-
but, I
that's
mean-
his
Or
dream.
the opening.
I thought that was actually happening when that's
So
my
did
fault.
he.
And
I
was
did
like,
too at first.
I was visibly shaking.
I was like,
I was
what?
very angry.
And then when it was a dream, I was like, okay, whatever. That wasn't that big a deal.
That was a stupid Batman dream. So
I had shoehorn Dark Knight Returns references. We went over that pretty extensively. The Jolly Rancher scene, fucking creepy, weird shit. Why are Batman's villains still alive?
hmm
Did Lex Luthor know their secret identities? What was up with that?
I think so.
He did because
They don't really ever mention,
Batman
like-
or Bruce Wayne got like the letters with the writing on them.
Yeah, I
so
guess
I think
he would
that
have
was
had to
from
have known.
Luthor, unless that was from the Joker. In which case, why the fuck is Joker even sending shit in?
If
this
that was
movie?
from the
But-
Joker, they do nothing. There's no reference to
No,
the Joker
there's no
besides
reference.
the little statue. But you would think Lex Luthor finding out the two biggest, well, the only really superheroes in the world, finding out who they actually are, would be a big plot point instead of something that just doesn't even get mentioned.
Yeah.
You know, so whatever. That's just tip of the iceberg with this fucking movie. The Jesus stuff, like the spear, we went over that. Batman's flimsy motivation, we went over that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's flimsy motivation.
Yeah, everybody's flimsy.
Lex's super convoluted plan,
I went over that.
which, like, at the whenever the kicking off point was getting him to like go to the Middle East to save Lois Lane.
yeah.
You know, if Superman went to the Middle East and started killing terrorists, Americans would fucking love him.
Yeah, for the most part, people would be like, okay, I'm into that.
Because
Especially the government.
I don't want to get too like political here, but
No, it's okay.
Most Americans,
Trump 2016.
most Americans
Right?
don't seem
Am I
too
right?
concerned when civilians get killed over there. They're
No.
just like, whatever.
Who
you
cares?
know? It's like, yeah, we killed one, but we killed like 500.
But Superman
we
doing
we
it
blew up a town.
instead of a drone,
Yeah.
even though they're both coming in from the sky. Yeah, then we got problems.
Okay, so that was kind of silly. I think. And the last thing I've written down was the 9/11 stuff, which
Yeah.
But
there's only one example of that really, because the first one, Man of Steel, was like the last
Heavy
hour
into
of
it,
that
yeah.
was, and not even just because buildings were collapsing, but just the imagery of it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I will say, they did a weirdly accurate job of capturing like the mood of that day. I feel like with the Batman scene, but.
Sure.
Which is all the more reason why it's just like, why is this in a Superman movie? Like,
yeah,
you're making me think of 9/11 right now, like this terrible day, and I'm basically watching it happen again right now with
Yeah.
Batman. It's like, why? What? This is the tone you're setting for the movie. Forget the Jimmy Olsen thing I was talking about earlier. That's what sets the tone for your big blockbuster superhero film is a 9/11 comparison.
Yeah.
All right, let's get this fun started. You know, like,
it's going to be a fun ride. Yeah, I know. I don't know. And at a point, like, we live in a post 9/11 world. It's going to be referenced. It's part of.
I
Yeah.
get
It's
it.
part of the
I mean, it
mythos,
even
yeah.
happens in the Avengers,
Yeah.
and like tons of other movies. But it's like it's not so like.
It's I don't
In
think
your
it's anywhere near
face.
in Avengers.
Well,
Yeah.
I think there's
Like they refer to
Shots
it as like
that-
the New York incident, and there's a few shots, but like Zack Snyder, like I think legitimately gets boners for 9/11.
I agree.
Because
I'm not saying
that's
Avengers
like-
anywhere near as bad about it, but like in that final fight scene, there's certain sequences and shots that are like, okay, you're
Sure.
you're trying to make a comparison. I get that, and I'm not even
But at
necessarily.
no point do you see a building come down or like something
Right.
going into a building like that. Like Zack Snyder does.
Yeah, I
that,
mean, in
like,
Man of
very
Steel, you
blatantly.
see people crashing through skyscrapers, and then in this one, Batman
one
vs
too.
Superman, the building that that Bruce Wayne's talking to the guy in.
Yeah.
I mean, that is like a
9/11.
might as well be the
Somebody
World
making
Trade
a
Center,
9/11
you know?
call. Yeah, it really
'Cause
is.
This is kind of morbid, but like you can hear phone calls coming from there as the fucking towers started coming down, which is super depressing. But it came off like something like that. I was like,
I agree.
This is what we're starting with. Like this is setting the tone for your film, your fun action romp here. Is
So-
9/11.
I mean,
Let's get this
I
start-
can't.
let's get
I
this
can't
party started.
personally getting it started. I can't think of a better way to end an episode than with many 9/11 references. So
I'm gonna say 9/11 a few more times.
I think you should,
because
and you should intersperse them in this segment where Ryan gives out all of our lovely contact information.
So, if you are a fellow 9/11 boner enthusiast, you can find us at facebook.com/experiencegrind, over at twitter.com/expgrindpodcast.
Yeah.
Email us at experiencegrindpodcast@gmail.com.
Uh-huh.
Please check us out at experiencegrind.com. All of our stuff's there, archived forever. And Kyle puts up a bunch of videos on YouTube. Search Experience Grind. We don't have the actual channel named Experience Grind yet, but
If
it's
you
all there.
subscribe, we can. Did you give out the Twitter?
I think I did.
Because if you should tweet us at 9/11 epic as fuck. Ooh, I just double
I think
boned
that
there.
one's, yeah.
That was a
I think
double
it's more
boner.
offensive than mine was.
I'm gonna pull that was bad.
But with all this 9/11 talk, Zack Snyder's gonna have masturbation.
He's gonna
material
write
for
the Experience
weeks.
Grind movie now.
He's
Like,
just gonna be fucking raw.
He's gonna
from
start it
beating
at 9/11 where we didn't even know each other, and that's gonna be the Experience Grind movie. So
Yeah.
I mean that's all. That's where we're gonna stop. I don't know.
wait.
I don't know what
I
else
just want
to say.
Bush did 9/11.
Bush did do
Oh
9/11,
no!
and he doesn't care about black people.
No.
I do know that as well. That's
Two Kanye moments in one episode.
bam,
High five.
bam. So there we go. That's all we got to say. If you haven't seen it, that's the entire movie for you. If you have seen it,
I'm
suffer
sorry.
with most of us. Revel with me in that it's okayedness. It's incredibly gray, but mediocre. So that's all we got. Thank you guys as always for listening. We appreciate it. Thanks for suffering through this. Hopefully it wasn't as long as the movie. Grind out. Bang! You're so monotone, and Nathan's doing nothing.
I'm the background track.